All right, y'all. I did not expect to talk a lot about this, but I have probably 2 pages worth of notes from the Road to the Show feature premiere, which is unusual for me, to say the least. Big notes though. They added some minor things, a couple different ways of progression, I guess you could say, in terms of your career, and they leaked some legends. They leaked legends, so we'll get into that too. But guys, if you enjoyed these breakdowns after the feature premieres, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm dropping one after each feature premiere and even every trailer we're talking about and such too. If you guys want all the news from MLB The Show 26, subscribe to the channel. All right, I'm gonna kind of let this play and we'll pause it as we go, but lots and lots of notes. First of all, they said 11 new colleges, and they were kind of showing them and scrolling through them a little bit. See Oklahoma State and all that. Florida Gators versus Oregon Beavers in the College World Series. We also got to get into that. I'd like to show where some of these teams are. There they are. So they're going to talk about some of these teams. 11 new colleges to add to what? The 7 they had before, the 8 they had before. You can kind of see them as they're scrolling through here. Some big ones, but also they showed notable alumni in these. There's a couple that we noticed as we were watching live that not a lot of people noticed. As we're going through, I'm looking for a certain school. Are they not showing it here? Or did they? I'm looking at Clemson for one. That's Arkansas. Stanford. UCLA, no. Clemson. Khalil Green is here. So I think that's going to be a new legend. And I was like, is Khalil Green really worthy of them adding as a legend? Then I remember they added Jerry Harrison. So clearly anybody can make it, apparently. Khalil Green should be in MLB The Show this year. That is one of 3 we noticed. I'm looking for a couple others if they're going to show it in this one, or maybe I have to wait till later when they show it again. They didn't show it. Okay, that's annoying. I'm going to have to see it later. Khalil Green is one, though, in the 11 new schools. And as you can see also, they have full College World Series in this. Licensing, the full bracket, everything. Omaha. Then, and here's what they said about it. The quote, more games, more authenticity. So you should have more games and actually like more of an experience in these early things for both high school and college, which I think is a W. That was like the big thing they added last year, and it really didn't show much with it. You know what I mean? But right here, you can see there's a whole presentation for the College World Series in Omaha. You got the full branding for these schools and everything, and you go through legitimately the entire College World Series bracket. We'll get into like more where you start and like the options you can do with that, but I do think this is I would say a lowercase W. I'm starting to rate things in terms of like, you know, higher case W, lowercase L, uppercase L. You know what I mean? I think this is definitely in the lowercase W edition. Maybe even uppercase, depending on how much of it you're actually going to get to play, which they showed later. It's a good bit. So I would give them a W in this case. There is better recruiting packages. Let me see if I can find where they actually show it. They're about to. So as you can see here, today's performance, this is like their your stuff here, but the college interest, they changed this a little bit. As you can see, there's a gold, then there's going to be a silver as well. The interest bar, it doesn't show here, but apparently last year it was full or it was nothing. Now it's something that you can build. And these golds are like the gold recruiting packages, like the best stuff you can get. And there's different tiers of them. So there's a little more into the actual college recruiting aspect of it, which I think is dope. They said, do you want to take less to go to your favorite school? Would you take a better package to go elsewhere? There's different options of stuff you can do in terms of your choice in the Road to the Show that you're running. So we'll get into the next point in a sec, but they're going through these teams. I'm looking for one. There it is. There it is. Under Michigan, Jim Abbott is going to be a new legend. Typically with these notable alumni, all these guys are legends they have in the game or current players or something. Jim Abbott, that's a new name. So I would expect him to be a new legend in the game potentially. Then there was one more, and I am looking for it. And it's coming up here. It's not Tennessee. It's not UCLA. Not Virginia. Not Oregon State. We already saw Clemson. I'm going to get it here. There it is. Florida State, Buster Posey. So those are the 3 new legends that we noticed in this. It's going to be Khalil Green. It's going to be Jim Abbott, and it's going to be Buster Posey. Buster Posey, I'm excited about, as he was the catcher for those Giants teams I used to love watching, because Tim Lincecum's my favorite player of all time. Pretty cool. Guys, I would consider Buster Posey to be a big W legend. Jim Abbott, I mean, he threw a perfect game at one point, or a no-hitter, and he had one hand. That's kind of sick. I don't know how they're going to do the one-hand shit with Jim Abbott, because, you know, he would put the glove on or whatever. I don't know how they're going to do that. But probably lowercase W. Maybe if you're a big fan of that time of baseball, it'll be uppercase. Khalil Green, I don't think he's going to be anything crazy. I don't think we're going to get an insane card of him. But, you know, mid-2000s type guy. Played shortstop. That's cool, I guess. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about the legends. If you guys are in the Twitch chat, give me a little rating on that with the WL scale we talked about. What you think about these new legends. Okay. Here we're getting a look of the actual screen, the home screen right now. My camera's covering some stuff here. So that's like the look of everything. Potential at the top. Potential is the driving force this year. Potential is everything. It will be a huge impact from the very start in high school all the way until you're about 25 years old on how teams look at you, how you grow, etc. It is huge. And you can move it up and down. Now, the thing is, as you move it up and down through high school and college, this makes it so when you're drafted, it's not like an underdog story every single time like it has been for years. You could be drafted first overall as an absolute stud this year, is what it seems, considering everything is based on potential. If you get a potential early, yeah, you could be a stud straight out of the draft, which is dope in my opinion. I get sick of the same story every year, being the underdog guy, grinding through the minors and everything. I would love to just come out and be an absolute stud. I will say, I don't play a lot of Road to the Show, which is why I did not expect to have many notes from this, and I do. There is a chance that I consider doing a Road to the Show run this year, especially due to some changes that allow you to get through it faster if you want to, that I'll talk about later. But let me know down in the comments. You guys have seen my franchise series. A lot of you guys love them, with like the commentating aspect, the broadcasting aspect and everything. Would you guys want me to do a Road to the Show run on stream in a similar format? Let me know. Let me know. I do fear that Jim will be normal. Agreed. But they said that they made a big point of this. Everything in college and the amateur level influences your potential. Potential is everything in Road to the Show this year. Higher potential, more resources a team will put into you, better recruiting packages, etc. Road to the Show needs help. It could be so fun. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. There's definitely I wish it was more RPG like, but we also know that they're building on a very, very old mode. And I don't know how much realistically they can change year to year. I do think there are some good changes in this, but just like the gameplay trailer, there's nothing that obscenely crazy, I suppose. Here's a look at the upgrade screen. You use tokens this year and the stuff you get in the points and all that. All right, is this going to play? The points you get in the game, you can convert into tokens. You use the tokens to upgrade. I don't know if that's new or not, because I don't play the mode. It's never really drawn me in necessarily. Goals are a huge thing this year, and they talk about it a ton in this, especially at the end. So goals is what is going to progress you through it. As you hit goals, it'll affect your Hall of Fame progress, because their Hall of Fame is in this now, which they talk about. Goals affect your ability to be called up, things like that. And also those goals, if you fail, can affect your potential, and we know potential is king in this mode this year. Tokens is a repeat they had in at least MLB 25. Gotcha. Well, it's back. I don't know what to tell y'all. Hall of Fame is here, though. The goal system, you get short and long-term goals, different rewards. Goals start in high school. Now, all the way from high school to your sophomore year, apparently the goals are made for you. But once you get your sophomore year of the MLB, your second year in the show, you actually get to create your own goals, and you get like 5 to 8 slots, and you fill them, and that affects like you becoming a Hall of Famer essentially. Here's an example of the rewards from the goals. Increased promotion score, which is you know, potentially you're getting called up. Increased potential, gain tokens. If you fail things, sometimes you get a decrease in potential, like I said, which I think is good. Result failed, result success, all that stuff. Now this This is the big thing that I would like to talk about and why I'm actually considering playing the mode this year. There is a simulation for breakthrough moments. You can sim to a break point, and it's like critical situations in franchise. And you guys know that's how I do a lot of my stuff, is using those critical situations to jump in so you can get through the season pretty quick. But it's not just simulating every game and you don't know what happens. If there's a big moment, it'll have you jump in. If you're getting close to a goal in Road to the Show, it'll have you jump in and play games. This, I think, is dope and will allow you to get through without playing 2,000 games throughout an entire career. Because let's be honest, not a lot of us want to do that. It gets repetitive. But doing this allows you to get through it, and I personally like that. This is a change that would draw someone like me to play the mode, which I think is good. It's a lower barrier of entry, so you're not playing just the same thing, home run simulator, for 2,000 games before you can even reach the Hall of Fame, which I think is a great thing, and why I would consider doing this and doing it in the same format that I do my franchises, where I broadcast the career of Gooch Bronson or whatever. I think this is good. I think this is a good change. They said it allows you to jump into big moments that, quote, offer flexibility while keeping immersion. And based on how they've done critical moments and jumping in with that in franchise, I believe that to be true. I think that's a good change. Based on how they described it, I agree. Like I said, hot and cold streaks affect your simming overall rating. So as you can see here, your current adjusted rating, your starting adjusted rating. So if you're on a cold streak, you might sim like a lower overall, but if you're on a hot streak, you might sim at a higher overall, and that affects, like, so the simming isn't just going to be the same every time. If you're on a cold streak, you may not want to sim. You may want to get back to normal or on a hot streak before you actually sim. I think that affects the story of the mode, which is dope. Breakthrough points can be any rivalry or goal coming up that you can jump in front of, so you can actually hit those things. And then they actually show you how close you are to promotions in goals. It's called the call-up outlook. I think they'll show it coming up here in a sec. I'm looking for it. Still looking for it. There we go. Call-up outlook. It's under legacy. And as you can see in the bottom left, there's a little meter that once you get into the green, you are technically ready to be called up, and it should happen soon, is my thoughts on it. But it shows you your comparisons. It shows you like home runs, hits, what you need in order to get called up. And it shows you also compared to who you are going up against for the call up, which is dope. You add a little competition factor to it. I think that's always been a thing, but I think this way of looking at it is a little bit different. So I'm cool with that. Okay. Communication. You know, all those like really annoying cutscenes that we would have every year that just stopped everything. It was the same thing every time. Now they've gone to more of a different format where everything is on a phone and you get messages. And it seems like they added different stuff they can do it too, but you can talk to your manager, your agent, hitting coaches, etc. And you don't have the bullshit cutscenes, which I think is massive for this. You talk to college coaches, agents, you can change positions, you can request trades. All of that is through this instead of the bullshit cutscenes, and you actually get something out of it. This is a little more RPG-like. It's not like a huge change, let's be honest. In my opinion, from what it sounds like, it's the same thing as the cutscenes. It's just a little more streamlined. And I'm good with it being streamlined, but maybe down the road it would be sick to get some more RPG type things, different storylines that can happen that aren't, you know, repeated necessarily based on things that could happen or how you play or things like that. Very NBA 2K phone stuff, yes, but it is more streamlined than the really bullshit cutscenes, so I'm cool with it. I'm very cool with it being on the phone. Plus, it's modernized for the current generation. I say as I'm also of that generation, I suppose. I know I'm bald. I'm not 40. Okay, we talked about the new legends they talked or showed, leaked, you could say. You don't have to go to college. College is not a necessity. You do get an opportunity to just go to the draft straight out of high school. You will play more high school games, by the way. Everything is more. If you do go to college, you jump in right into your junior year College World Series. But you play the whole format. So you actually get more games than you would have. And then after the College World Series, you get the choice. Do you go back for your senior year and do it again? Try to maybe win back to back. Or maybe you didn't perform as well and you want to go back and try to build that draft stock again, etc. You have the choice to either go to the draft after your first College World Series, or you go back to college for one more year and do it again. I think that's a good change. Adds a little more customization to what you guys may or may not want to do. Couple other points I wrote down. You can select secondary positions from the start, so you actually get to choose those. That is a W. Higher potential equals higher draft. So like we talked about earlier, potential is everything. As you build that potential, so you get an A potential through high school and college, you go to the draft, you're going to be a higher draft pick. You could go in as a stud rather than an underdog. They did say a couple extra things. College uniforms will not be in Diamond Dynasty yet again. It's expected, honestly. A little disappointing though, because those college uniforms are clean, man. So clean. The guy that they had on the dev kit while they were talking live, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. It was very, very rough watching this guy try to play the game. It was funny, but shout out Kev for doing that when you clearly don't play the game a ton, and having a chat of 4,000 people laugh at you. It was a little tough, but it was funny. It was entertaining to me. So thank you, Kev, I suppose. They did leak Jessica Mendoza joins the booth in a new commentary crew. It did seem like they didn't want to leak that. It was brought up, and then buddy on the left here was like, yeah, I guess we can confirm that. I don't know if they planned on confirming that or not. I feel like it was something they had to have talked about beforehand, but it was kind of funny in the moment. So I was like, I don't know if they were supposed to talk about that or not, but not my thing. Don't really care. Jessica Mendoza joins, like it or not. There you go. That's info. After the College World Series, you could see where you'd most likely be drafted. So their example here, he was projected to be drafted in like the 3rd or 4th round. And then you get the choice. Do you want to go to the draft, or do you want to go back to school? They had the buddy that they were using had a ginger fro. So I think we have something that we are going to add to Coach Gooch, or I say Coach Gooch Bronson because of the good old days on college football. Coach Gooch Bronson, ginger fro. I mean, surely that's for me, right? Like, I think that it fits me perfectly having a ginger fro. Any truers, please let me know. So as you're talking to your agent, they say that they'll send gear to you every now and then. Like, you'll get like packages of stuff. So I'm assuming as you get better and better, they'll just send you better and better gear. More name brand gear is what I would assume. Failure means decreased potential sometimes. Team sets your goals in the minors, but you can set yourself your own goals in your sophomore season in the MLB. Their quote on it was driving yourself to the Hall of Fame at that point. But before that, the team sets your goals, because honestly, that's kind of like real life. They have certain goals they want you to hit before they would actually call you up and think that you make an impact in the big leagues. So that's fair. 5 to 8 goal slots. They showed the perk screen later in the stream, and I will say, I think it looks cool. I've never seen it before, but it's got like cool colors and shit. In fact, my note was, perk screen looks cool. I don't know. Colors and shit. So, I mean, yeah, they got like the different looks of it, and when they upgrade it, it looks kind of cool. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's like a skill tree almost. When there is whatever, they'll show what it does, and then it shows what will boost. And as you upgrade it, it's like, wow, add another color, and it turns into a cool different color. I don't know. Cool animations, I suppose. I don't know. I like that stuff. And then you mastered it, it turns gold or whatever. This is essentially quirks for you Diamond Dynasty fellas like me, I suppose. But I don't know. It doesn't look like anything crazy new. I'll be honest. It really doesn't. There's some good developments, I suppose. Quality of life, some extra stuff you can do in like the new stuff, which is like before your pro career, etc. But it's not like they added a whole game-changing new thing. It's similar to the gameplay trailer. For everyone that was complaining about the graphics in this, we've been known about that for like a week now. All right, do your best to separate what happened a week ago and focus on this. Otherwise, you are going to be miserable, and you're not even going to want to play the game. And if you don't want to play the game, that's fine. Don't buy the game. But if you want to play the game and enjoy the game, it would help to focus on what they're actually talking about that week. That is my advice there. It's what I'm trying to do, because we all know nothing's perfect, but we can't change what they've already shown. You know what I mean? The game is the game. But stuff like this, it adds a little bit of an RPG-like element, like a skill tree type thing. That's cool, I suppose. I don't know. Am I going to play Road to the Show heavily this year? No. Have I ever? No. It's not really my thing. If you guys enjoy Road to the Show, hopefully you found this info useful. But I don't know. Maybe I give it a shot this year with the new streamlining of the simulation and stuff like that. We will see. Let me know in the comments if you want to see that. That's all I got, though. I'll have more thoughts in the future ones. Road to the Show just isn't really my thing. Next week's feature premiere, they said, is presentation stuff, which we are excited about as franchise players, because with me, how I do my franchises and like the broadcasting aspect of it and all the presentation stuff that we use when I'm broadcasting the game, etc., that is important to me. So I'm very excited about that. That is what next week's video will be. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But guys, that's it for this one. Like the video, subscribe, WYAP, and we'll see you in the next one.